Hi, I'm Lianne Kim, and this is The Business of Thinking Big, the podcast where we talk all things business mindset, strategy, and hustle. So, if you're looking to grow your revenue, serve more dream clients, and create amazing new possibilities, then you, my friend, are in the right place. Stay tuned. Hey there, and welcome to another episode of The Business of Thinking Big. I'm your host and business coach, Lianne Kim, and I cannot wait for you to meet my very special guest today. Joining me on the show is someone who I have a lot of love for. She is a longtime client and a business owner herself, Ms. Tamitha Denys. Tamitha, hello.
Good morning. How are you?
I am fantastic. Thanks. How are you?
I am well.
So for those of you who don't know Tamitha, she is the owner of TD Accounting Services, and she helps primarily female business owners get the money side of their business in check. Would you say that's right?
I would say that hits the nail right on the head.
Perfect. Well, that is kind of the short description of what you do. Obviously, you now do so much more than that, and we're going to get into that in this episode. I really wanted to have Tamitha on the show because she has been through quite a journey. Girl, we have been on a wild ride this last, I guess we're coming up to 2 years soon.
It has been 2 years, and the most growth I have ever had in my life has been in this last 2 years.
I get chills when you say that. That is so exciting. So let's kick things off with, why don't you tell everyone a little bit about who you are and what your core mission is?
Who am I? I am, this is
very existential.
It is, and I hate talking about myself, but who am I? I am a mother, I'm a grandmother, and I'm a wife. So those are the three most important parts.
Tell us a little bit about, maybe let's start with your journey. So, how did you get started? Who are you helping? How did you get to where you are now-ish?
I started in my basement 7 years ago. And 7 years ago, I had one client. I called myself a troll because I had those little windows at the top of the room. So very little sunlight came in. It was very funny, actually, to be honest with you. After a number of years, though, it became apparent that I had grown to a point where I could no longer work from my home. It was disrupting my life, and I moved out. I moved out with the blessing of my family, and we have continued to grow ever since. And now, 7 years later, we have hit our biggest milestone this year. We are now a 7-figure business.
Woohoo!
I am so proud to say that.
I am so proud of you. And this is really a testament to all the hard work that you've done. So really, your original business, TD Accounting, we were talking about doing the books and accounting for female entrepreneurs. So tell us a little bit more about how that business, or I should say business owners. Tell us a little bit more about how that business has evolved over time. Yes, you've grown a team, but you've also shifted your focus and how you deliver your services. So what did that look like?
We're very focused on providing bookkeeping advisory services to business entrepreneurs, specifically women, that is my demographic, to help them understand what it is that they have in front of them. So let me tell you a story. I love daycare centers. And the reason I love daycare centers is twofold. One, 99% of them are run by women, and it's providing one of the best services in our local communities for young children.
So important.
It is to me. That's one of my pet projects. But that being said, as a daycare center owner, you didn't get into business to understand bookkeeping and numbers and paying your hydro bill. You got into business because you love children. You care about what they eat, the types of activities that they enjoy on a daily basis, giving them a fresh start when mom and dad can't be there for them. That's why you did what you did. You didn't get into business to worry about whether your hydro bill gets paid. Is there enough money coming in? Do you have enough to pay salaries at the end of the week? Those are not things that you got into business to worry about. That's where I come in. This is where we have created this virtual online business where we can help business owners, specifically women, not focus on parts of their business that they don't understand or possibly don't even like. Sorry, I love it, but most don't. And that's where I come in.
I think I've talked about this on the podcast a lot. I know a lot of female entrepreneurs do struggle with the money side of their business. They do feel out of their depth. And so therefore they tend to not give it the focus and attention that it needs. And so when I look at what you're doing, I think you are really empowering women to start to understand and start to get a grapple, start to get a grip on this area that is so, so important. And you and I both know if we ignore it, if we don't pay attention to it, it can very much be the demise of our business.
And I completely agree with you. And the stats are, and I am going to get into the numbers here a little bit, but the statistics have proven if you don't have a handle on the financial side of your business, more than 50% of business owners will be out of business within the first 6 months to 12 months.
Oh, so tragic. So tragic.
Almost as bad as the divorce statistics. And that is the number of people who put so much effort, their life, their passion, their excitement into building their babies. This is like a second child, their first child. This is a child to them. To watch it fail, and I don't like to use those types of strong words, but to see it fail.
The F word.
I don't like that word. But if you are not focusing on even the basic understanding, you could be jeopardizing the health of your baby.
And this is why, I mean, guys, you can hear the passion in her voice. This is why I knew you would make an incredible title sponsor for MamaCon. That's our big conference at the end of October, where we bring together a bunch of mama entrepreneurs, because these are the women that need you the most. And that's what you're going to be sharing on that day, is just more along these lines of why it's so important that we start to get a handle on this and the different tools at our disposal. So I am so stoked for that day.
So am I. I really, truly am. To have one person, just one person with that light bulb go off over their head is success enough for me.
Yes, beautiful. I agree completely. That too, that moment where you can see you've made an impact on someone. I dig that so much too. Okay, I want to shift gears a little bit and start to share a little bit more of your more recent journey. So as we said, you came and found me about 2 years ago now, and you were in a dark place.
Yes.
I just want to go there for a minute, because I think a lot of people think that they need to have everything all figured out before they reach out for help. And as I've talked about as I've mentioned on a previous episode, the one called "Is It Time to Hire a Coach?" that couldn't be further from the truth in my mind. But I want you to share just a little bit of where you were at when we first connected.
You know, it's funny when I look back in time, I reached out to you when I thought the world was perfectly fine. And we didn't connect until after my world collapsed. And surprisingly enough, even though I was in such a fog at that time, I knew I needed to create a relationship with someone to help me. And let me back up to give a bit of history and a little bit of background. When I reached out to you, it was the beginning of September, and I was getting ready for conference season. I'm an avid speaker. I love what I do, and I'm very passionate about it. And people want to hear where I've been and the journey that I've traveled, especially at that time.